Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot, and welcome to your general readings for the sign in the title below, because it's a bulk introduction, for the supermoon, full moon in Scorpio on the 26th or 27th of month we're in, April, for wherever you are in the world. Here in Britain it's on the 27th, in America it's mainly on the 26th. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the astrology of this because I'll be live streaming 6 p.m. UK time, so 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on YouTube with astrologer David Fisher. We'll go through the astrology then. As ever, general reading rules apply. Timing is not absolute. This is an interesting full moon. I think I tend to look at these readings as looking over the lunar cycle or half lunar cycle, if you know what I mean, from full moon to full moon, rather than new to new. So we'll see how long that they last. You should hopefully pick up the energies from them. If someone else appears in the readings, roles can get reversed. Doesn't very often happen in the spread that I'm using. But as I say, timing is far from absolute is the main point here. So, as ever, I would like you to hit that like button if you like the reading, or if you like the video even. No, the reading might not be so hot. And feel free to subscribe to the channel while you're here, because it really does help. I think that's it for my housekeeping. The reason I do a bulk introduction with a timestamp in the description below, so that you can fast forward to the reading, don't do it yet, is I would like to watch your sun, your moon and your rising. And you don't need to listen to me waffle 3 times over. You know what I mean? So there is a timestamp below if you're wanting to fast forward if this is your second or third time round. And there is a link to the Facebook page for this channel, where I post these videos, obviously, because I do not trust YouTube notifications. But I also post the weather report style astrology YouTube videos that I watch, so you can learn along with me, and I try to make it a bit of a one-stop shop. So anyway, I think that's everything. Oh yeah, if you don't know your moon or your rising sign, there's a link down there for there's 2 links: free birth charts, AstroSeek or Cafe Astrology. I'm now tending more towards using the AstroSeek, just because I know what I'm doing a little bit more, and there's so much you can get the chart to be presented the way you want it to be. So this full moon, it's an interesting one. It's ruled by the angel Jeliel. 7 degrees Scorpio is ruled by the angel Jeliel, who represents recapturing the spark and love and wisdom. Now, that recapturing the spark could mean the passion for a project, a field of research, or a person, you know. So there is that whole romantic element to it. There is a lot of, if you look into the positions of the planets and the degrees that they're holding and the degree symbols and what have you, there is a lot of sexual energy in this full moon, which figures with us just coming off the back of that Venus-Uranus conjunction, although again, that's about more than just relationships and sex lives. But what I've also found is interesting is the relationship to other new moons. Being in Scorpio, it represents transformation. Now, the moon, if my notes are correct, is in its fall in Scorpio anyway. But it's also, being in Scorpio, traditionally ruled by Mars. And Mars is just gone into Cancer. So the moon and Mars are in mutual reception. They're amping each other up. So I think there's any transformations that are begun more under or that are ongoing, I think it would be an even better way to put it, will have that little bit extra oomph. Now, Scorpio under modern rulership is ruled by Pluto. As we know, Pluto's still in Capricorn. But 7 degrees Scorpio is the site of the Pluto of harmonic convergence, which, if you know your hippie woo-woo, then that was a big event in the late, oh, I didn't write the date down, 87, 88, where there was this opening of all new energies coming onto the planet. So I think it's quite significant where this full moon is potentially giving us a chance to actually use those energies now. We've had plenty enough time since the 80s, late 80s, to assimilate to them. It's about time we use them. And also, the other thing I noticed is that it's on Aleister Crowley's Jupiter. Now, there was something else that was like really hocus pocusy with this full moon. I didn't write it down. I've forgotten what it was. But I would imagine this full moon would be great for full moon rituals. However, watch every single astrology forecast video I've posted on that YouTube page first. Do your research. Make sure that what you would be magically working towards, creatively visualizing, sat with a candle, what have you, is in line with the astrological energies that are there. Because I noticed the closer we get to the full moon, the astrologers' descriptions of this full moon are getting nicer and nicer. And there are some beautiful aspects to it. But there are also some quite traumatic aspects as well. So be careful what you ask for, because you might just get it. I think it's the, sometimes the genie is best left in the bottle. That's something that I think you really need to pay some attention to. Myself, I'm not planning any hocus pocus for the full moon this time. I'm just going to sit and let, I suppose the phrase would be trust the process. Allow the transformation energies to unfurl. Because for me, I was alive during harmonic convergence. So for me, this is really, really important. And it being on Aleister Crowley's Jupiter makes me think that magic at this time has a high chance of getting bigger. But it's Crowley, it's double-edged. Do you know what I mean? So you be very, very careful what you ask for. Now, I've also been reading a lot about Franz Barden and the entities he calls the degree heads, who are entities that inhabit each individual degree of the zodiac and can be evoked just like any spiritual entity or magical entity can be evoked, if you know about your evocation. Now, this one is, let me pronounce it correctly, Amelie. Now, Amelie, here's the description, protects man against all infectious diseases and causes him to look after himself so that he is at any time able to resist infection. If karmic reasons make it necessary, or if it lies in one's fate, this head, i.e. the entity Amelie, will not prevent an infection. Amelie teaches the magician many means of protection against the most diverse types of infectious diseases from the magical point of view. Since there exists also the possibility of mental or astral influences, Amelie also instructs the magician in this respect. He teaches him how to protect himself after having been made acquainted with special magical practices against negative astral influences and against influences of negative beings. So if you are going to try any hocus pocus with this full moon, talking to Amelie may not be a bad idea, given the situation of the world at the moment. Negative astral influences? Well, let's use the by now tiresome term of fake news. We've already seen what damage fake news can do. And infectious diseases. I wonder what's going on in the world that could relate to that. But apparently I can't say such things on YouTube. So I won't mention even the V word, never mind, the C word. Not that it makes the slightest bit of difference to me anyway, because is I am not yet monetized. But, you know, I'd like people to see the readings that follow this. Now, that is pretty much all that I'm wanting to talk about with the new moon, full moon. Apart from new moon, yes. Now, Scorpio transformation. And there was an aspect between the recent, the last new moon, the Aries new moon, and Pluto, which was instigating transformation energies. You know what I was saying about the transformation with the harmonic convergence Pluto? There's that sense of revealing, unveiling, that deeper secrets, deeper truths, deeper realities, stripping things away. Scorpio is also the sign of death and transformation. It is the death card in the tarot. So, as I say, the death card in the tarot is not scary because if you get a job, it's the death of poverty. If you get a relationship, it's a death of loneliness. You know, so death is not necessarily bad, but you're watching the tarot reading anyway. So, apart from I'm not using tarot this, well, I am a bit. So you know this already. But there was transformation that was triggered by that Aries new moon. Not even triggered as in the seed was sown, but triggered as in, right, here is the energy to start it. Here, we seem to be clearing all the crap out that we found that's in the way of this transformation. It's like deciding to redecorate your kitchen and then you open a cupboard and find that you hadn't emptied it after all, and you need to empty this cupboard before you can do the next bit of work. So this full moon promises to be really, really useful and dramatic. Like I say, we're just coming off that Venus-Uranus conjunction, so I think that may be adding a little bit of spice into our lives one way or another. So, with no further ado, I don't think I've got anything more to add, and I'm trying to cut down these intros since we're doing the live streams. Yeah, the live stream may be shorter. I've said that already, haven't I? So, like, share, subscribe, and I'll bring up your cards. Okay, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whatever area of chart you're looking at. As you may know if you've watched these readings before, this top row here represents the masks that the archons wear as they try and keep you vibrating in fear and misery and separate from the divine, your higher self, your destiny, however you want to put it. Whereas this bottom row represents the gods who are trying to lift you up and try to reconnect you with that glorious future, however it may mean. So, aligned against you as the Archons pretending to be Ra with power, Poseidon with Earthshaker, Amaterasu with self-esteem, Skadi with atonement, and the Hydra with challenges. Now, the gods on your side, Odin with guidance, Dionysus with freedom, Sekhmet with reduction, Lilith with equality, and Plutus with wealth. Now, there's a nice signification, isn't there? Now, the first thing that I see as I am looking at these cards is you are reducing your role in something, or you are advised to reduce your role. It's almost like, yeah, I'm feeling constrained by this top row. I'm feeling constrained by the demands that someone has of me that I set things right, and how they are trying to, how the situation is whittling away at how I feel about myself, and I am linking how I feel about myself with how well I am setting things right. And there is constantly challenges to be faced with this. And this bottom row to me is saying, what a load of nonsense, what a waste of time. Why are you doing that? To put it blunt, it's interesting that at the start of each row we have sky fathers, Ra as the sun god, Odin as sky father, and then Poseidon, who also was about to drop out of this deck for this row after I'd pulled out Odin. So there's a lot of emotion that you are swimming in that is working against you. So I would say a lot of these things could be emotions that are projected upon you. Yeah, it doesn't feel all that positive, the situation that you're in at the top. But the fact that this feels so significant is that you can strike out for a path of your own. That, yeah, it's not that you're necessarily reducing your income or anything like that. We've got Plutus here, right at the bottom of the God row. You're going to be fine. We also have, oh God, Azazel with divine comfort. Now, often when I see that card, there's a bit of a five of Pentacles seeking shelter vibe with it, because you've got the divine comfort because you've got little else. But Plutus flies in the face of that. And it also implies to me resources that are as yet untapped that will become revealed to you as you are working to be somebody clear, somebody equal, like Lilith says here, equality. We've got freedom and equality. There's so yes, reducing your role in a certain situation is fine. It's no point trying to constantly go on an attitude of not upsetting the apple cart. So that's the one thing that I oh, how ironic, that looks like a young Odin on there. Yeah, fighting that equality. Look at these, taking the step towards freedom is ensuring that you are leveling up. Prince of Pentacles here. Whereas, I mean, it also hints that it's slow progress, but working towards that freedom from a situation is stepping up, even if there is some form of hold that's been put on you of are you not going to set this right, whatever this might be. But Plutus, watch your pennies as well. They're going to come in fits and starts. We've got the moon card with Plutus here, which I seem to remember in one symbolism, the moon is a place of wealth, but I can't remember which particular mythology that's in, but I remember it from, so I'm seeing it that way, but I'm also drawn to the whole tidal motion that the moon creates. So it's a bit like going self-employed, because loads of times without money, or that the business is eating the money, and then you get paid for the work that you've done. Vroom, masses of money, big contracts sorted, and allowing you to breathe for the next 3-4 months, whatever. But I think you may find it difficult to reduce the needs that are put upon you. But what this strength card here is telling me is that you can actually do it. Now, is there anything else that I'm getting from here? So Hermia is here with ritual and ceremony. But actually, I think what I'm drawn to here is Halphus at the bottom, representing falsehood, because the story here of Amaterasu and Skadi, I feel that they are nonsense. They are a distant, remote idea that has not got a lot to do with you. And somebody is really quite happy with themselves and benefiting from the idea that you are having to um, how can I put it? That you are led to believe that you are needed to set things right because there's big changes that they are offering. That's what Poseidon here is telling me. So you can turn around and go, okay, you're having big changes. All right, count me out. Oh, are you offering redundancy? Okay, yep, go on, I'll take it. I've got my own things to start working on now. That's just as an example. Remember, all of these are metaphor, and take it as it makes sense to you. And this, I don't want to say take what resonates. It's either you understand it or you don't, but take the whole lot, or not. There's, but certainly striking out on your own here seems like a really, really, really positive step. We have the level up card with Prince of Pentacles. Well, I suppose the Prince is really the Knight, isn't it? But I he feels more like the Page than the Knight to me. And I'm really getting that sense of the level up card, as I call the Page of Pentacles. We have the Strength card indicating that, yeah, there might be a lot of reduction around. Certainly a reduction in wage check to start off with if you're taking the redundancy, but you've got the redundancy. So, swings and roundabouts, just look after it. Which again is what this Plutus is saying with the moon bringing the wealth in, whether this is emotional wealth, physical wealth, financial wealth, goods or money is the difference that I'm making there. Striving for this sense of equality and rebelling to a certain extent is what is bringing you all of this good luck and all of the love of the gods working on your side. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. So if that means anything to you, Capricorn, please do comment down below. Obviously, press the like button and subscribe while you're here. I'd be very grateful. Now, I will be live streaming 6 p.m. on UK time, Saturday, for the new moon with astrologer David Fisher. So hopefully I'll be able to talk again by then because this is my last reading. So Aquarius, Pisces, my apologies. I don't think they're going to get done before I have to leave the house. So think yourself lucky, Capricorn. You could have been knocked off the end of that list as well. So come and join us. David will be able to talk for both of us if I can't talk. And I'll see you then. So yeah, it's time to strike out on your own, Capricorn. Cheers.